Welcome back this week for Flow for Life. What Flow for Life means is being yourself at all times and doing it for life. For this episode, it's episode 26, and the title of it is called Credit Literacy. And today I have a special guest named Herman Dolce, and Herman is the CEO of Bellis Loan Enterprises. And before I let him introduce himself, I'm going to say thanks for being a guest. And I've been watching you for about 3 months now, and I've seen that you are able to help like thousands and thousands of people, you know what I'm saying, and educating people within your community and all over the world. So I wanted to say thanks for being a guest.
Absolutely. I thank you so much, Mr. Flowers, for having me. I'm honored for you sharing your platform with me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, the reason I really wanted to have you on here is because I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm an Army veteran, and it's not much people out there that's giving credit literacy tips and educating the community and telling people stuff that they should know. You know, although credit is needed, for some reason, in say I can say the Black community and minority communities, we don't actually look into credit literacy because we don't see the importance of it until it comes to getting a car and you got a 25% interest rate, or getting a house when your interest rate is high.
Right.
Really, when it comes to that actual car, you actually paying 12 more thousand dollars because of the interest, you know, and people don't really look into that. But I wanted to educate people in Cleveland, Ohio, you know, by getting somebody on my platform that I know that's like a guru of it.
Mm, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I think you hit something really hard on the head, nail on the head in regards to making sure our people get this information because we're not getting it at all, bro. Like it's not taught in school. It's not taught in our homes. So how are we supposed to get ahead with this information out here? So when I started learning this information from my mentor, and I started talking to my friends and people, I was like, y'all know about this? Credit literacy, business credit. It's like, no, what are you talking about? So you start being the weird person when you're talking like this. So I was like, oh no, I gotta tell everybody about this because there's people out here getting a bag, they're flipping this bag, and they're creating generational wealth just with this simple information. It's not even like crazy tips or anything. It's just simple basic information, just like algebra and math and certain science things that's basic to your daily living. Credit and what to do with credit and flipping it should be basic to us and taught in school, but it isn't. So I wanted to make it my mission and my passion to make sure I get this information out there.
Definitely, man. That's amazing because that's what we need. Because I feel like we don't have those conversations enough within our amongst our friends in the household or anything. So
Anything.
I guess the more that we actually bring it to the table and have conversations about, the more we can educate each other. Because you might know something that I don't know, and that information could go long ways. You know. So
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna get into the first question. So what got you into learning and educating people on financial literacy? Like what's like the background of it?
So I'm married to a wonderful woman. Her name is Janelle. We've been married 7 years now, and when when she got pregnant, we took a baby moon to Italy. Right, it was a wonderful trip. Had a great time. We was there for almost 2 weeks because we knew our lives were going to change. We were about to have our first kid. It was never going to be the same again. It was like, let's go on this baby moon. We was on this train ride going to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Right, and um I had a moment like you just have a moment of clarity for a second. He's like, damn, I had to ask somebody permission to come here, right? My boss. And then he told me if I can go, yes, whether or not I can go. And then he told me how long I can stay because I had to ask permission of how long I can be out, right? So I'm not telling anybody quit their job. Everyone has their own lane, their own destiny. But I was like, it wasn't a good feeling. And I used the whole 2 weeks. So when my daughter was born, I couldn't take time off to be with her. So I was telling my brother about that, Kevin. He's an owner of his own company, a business consultant company. And he's like, listen, bro, the only way you're gonna be free is if you own your own. And I was like, and it stuck with me. And I was like, yo, you're right. And I was like, I ain't got nothing to sell. I don't know. Like I was doing real estate here and there, nothing crazy. He's like, yo, he's like, stop fixing people credit for free. And I was like, what? Because in my mind, I'm giving, you give your people game or whatever. Like, nah, bro, you do this, you write this letter, it'll come off, you did it. And he's like, nah, stop doing it for free. Let that be your business or whatever. And I was like, word. And then he said this line to me that changed my life. He was like, they're going to pay somebody, they might as well pay you. And I was like, damn. And that's how I started. monetizing my information. And then it went crazy after that. God has really blessed the business, and it's been an amazing journey. And I've started many other businesses from that, just copying and pasting the formula.
Yeah, man. That sounds crazy. Like the story itself, like, because people don't understand sometimes the power of a conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And sometimes some information go over our heads and we remember it years down the line. And that's
Yeah.
like you was able to recall something back in the past that was like, this got me to where I'm at now because that conversation, which definitely influenced what I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So what exactly do you educate people on when it comes to credit literacy?
So it's multiple fold. It's not just credit, right? So of course the basic knowledge of credit, what it is, how you get it, how you maintain it, and how you leverage it, right? Because it's one thing for me, because Bellason, we help fix people credit too. It's one thing for me to fix your credit. All right, your credit is good now. When we get our credit fixed, it's because we want a cheaper car note, we want to get an apartment. Some of us want to get a home, and that's great, right? It's to buy stuff, right? And I'm telling people this is where the more credit literacy comes into play. All right, now that you got good credit, now you can get business credit. Well, what's business credit? Business credit is in your business name. And if you have like a $5,000 credit card in your personal and business credit in your business name, that thing's like 15, 20, 25,000. What? Yeah, and that doesn't report to your personal credit report, so you can max it out and it won't drop your credit score. What? And then it's 0% interest for like 6 to 12 months, and you could use that money to flip. You use that money to get in real estate. You can use that money to do your e-commerce. You can use that money to get into trucking. What? I'm like, yeah, man, like my truck is making $1,000 a week, $2,000 a week. What? So when they're getting all this information, they're like, this is crazy. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I've been doing. Success has receipts. So I would show people the receipts. I'm like, yo, come on, I'll show you how to do it, put you on, and now you're in a better position. I have my mentor, his goal is to make 100 millionaires this year. My goal is to at least free 100 people this year. What do I mean by that? Meaning, if I can show you how to make $2,000 to $5,000 a month, right? Won't that set you free? Because I know at least 50% of the United States, that's what their take home is. But if I can show you how to make $2,000 to $5,000 on the side just by leveraging your credit and not have to do anything crazy, I know I can make you free. I know you can walk around your job with a little S on your chest or a chip on your shoulder. Like, what you mean? Like, my side hustle makes me like 4,000. I don't need this. So I want to be able to empower our people. Like, you have options. And the reason our people don't have options is because they don't know. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, the biggest thing you just said to me, like the last part, is educating people on what they don't know. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And a lot of people, the information definitely is out there, and a lot of the information is free. But we're separating the people that's getting it together and the people that don't got it together. The people that's getting it together is reaching out to the resources. You know what I'm saying? And asking questions. It's people that spending, the time when they get off of work to watch these webinars, to get in these group meetings, to network with different people. Some people are so used to getting off of work and watching Netflix and just doing
right.
stuff that's not elevating them. They spend
Yeah.
more time on Netflix than they do educating themselves. So then it's like a routine, so they can't get out of that routine. So now basically they got the crab in the barrel mentality. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for them to get out and do something else when they've been doing this for so long.
Right. And they're trapped, bro. What you just hit something on the head too, because what I realized, bro, when Disney Plus came out, right?
Mm.
All the Marvel movies, every cartoon, their whole library. And I was like, oh, that joint gonna be expensive. That thing $6.99. I was like, wow, it is so cheap to keep us distracted, right? So they have so much content on there, and plus they make new shows on that platform. It's not just the old stuff; they got new shows out on there. So I was like, it's so cheap to keep us distracted for $6.99. Everybody gonna pay that, you know what I'm saying? And I think on the day one, like 4 or 5 million people signed up for it. So they made their bag, and you're distracted, and you can't elevate. So we got to understand that your attention for $6.99 is keeping you from getting a bag.
Man,
Because
that was
YouTube
powerful what
is
you
because
just said.
YouTube is free. And there's a lot of free game on YouTube. I tell
Yeah,
people, I was like, you don't even need to sign up with Credit Prepare for me. I don't even care. Go on YouTube University. They'll show you how to do it. It's literally hundreds of thousands of videos on there. Go educate yourself and put yourself in position to win.
man, you ain't lying with that, man. I be on YouTube, man. I even learned how to cut my hair on YouTube.
See?
And that's what it started from there. I was like, if I learn how to cut my hair, wonder what else I can do.
What else?
I'm also a certified welder. Of course, I went to welding school, but I learned most of the stuff in welding school on YouTube.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
so yeah, it's crazy. YouTube really done opened my eyes to like the great minds that's out there. It's a lot of people that got all this information and they sharing it. They
For
not keeping
free.
it in. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's free. So it's no reason why we should be, say, working at McDonald's, for instance, when we could be the CEO of McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. And I wanted to say thanks again, man, because like, yo, I reach out to a lot of people, right? You actually wrote me back and you sent the email and I sent you the meeting and I didn't even know this was gonna happen, but I was excited because I was like, yeah, I finally got somebody. And I'll be watching what's his name? David Sands, I think, Sleepers for Suckers. And I'm always watching his like podcast and I see that every week it's like it's a different tier. He keeps going up with the people he get on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I noticed that too, bro.
It's crazy. And I'll be so motivated, you know, to get people on my podcast because I haven't even been out a year yet. I'm an Army veteran. I just said, forget it. Let me just start something where I can get people on my platform that can educate people and I can learn as well. Like, although we doing the podcast, I got my notebook right here. You know what I'm saying?
That's what David does too. That's what David does too. He be like, yo, this podcast is for me to get free game. And he be like, what? Yeah, so he learns a lot too. That's true.
And it's crazy because I've been watching you for a couple months and I got your book last week.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I just started the LLC. So in my head, I was like, you know what? Let me get him on a podcast because I actually got something from him that can educate me and I can educate others. So I just wanted to get you on here because I was like, man, he reached back out to me. That's love because a lot of people, sometimes they be too busy.
Absolutely, man. My pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. So what's been the biggest issue you think with our people and like people in the minority community when it comes to learning about credit? Like, what do you think is keeping us where we are at?
Damn, bro. Like, this is hard for me to say. You know, it's hard for me to say out loud. Like, we are in our own way. That's number one. Number two, the system that we have been put in place, the crab in the barrel situation, and basically the hate of self. Those three things I think have really kept us down. Like, so like I would give game, I give a lot of free game. You've been following me. I give a lot of free game, right? My mentors give a lot of free game. And if you ever go in the comments, you see, oh, that's a scam, oh, that's not real, or you know what I'm saying, I don't believe that. And then or like I do credit repair. I credit repair is $1,000, for example. And people are like, oh, you stealing from your own community. I'm like, what? I'm running a business. Here's the crazy thing. When somebody says that to me, they're talking to me on $1,000 phone. Right. So number one, that's crazy to me. The phone is not too expensive, but credit repair is too expensive. This phone makes you no money. The person who's commenting that says I'm a scammer or I'm stealing from my community. I use this phone to make me a lot of money, right? I'm monetizing it because that's how I communicate with my people. That's how I give people free game, right? And then once I give them a lot of free game, it's like, damn, if he's giving this for free, imagine if I pay him, right? So, and then I put them in position. And I know you've been following me. All I do, I don't post cars and jewelry, none of that stuff. I post results. I post the lives of the people that I'm changing, right? And then people like we are in our own way. We are so stuck in everything's a scam and everything is fake, especially from our own people, that I think we get in our way. Because I even hate to say this out loud, but I was like, if I was a white person saying this, you probably would believe me, whatever. But because I'm not showing you my cars and stuff, then it can't be real. I'll never post cars. I'll never do that stuff. My job is to show you the lives of the people that are changing. So I think sometimes our people were in our own way. And I always tell this to people. Don't believe anything I say. Don't believe some random guy on Instagram. Somebody probably tag you in a post. Oh, this guy giving game. Go do your research on everything I say, because 50% of the stuff I say, you can go Google it or YouTube it. And you be like,
And it's that simple.
it's that simple. Like, oh, fact check me. You know what I'm saying? So that, and then when you start fact checking, and I know you know this, when you go on YouTube, all of a sudden you go down that rabbit hole and you're like, wow. Because when I was educating myself on credit to become a better a mentor to other people, because I'm always watching new stuff. I'm always getting new game. Even though I've been doing this for a while, I was watching credit stuff, and boom, I landed on business credit. And I was like, what's business credit? And when I learned that, man, it was just became another lane for me, another thing for me to teach, another thing for me to make money on. And then it's another thing for me to teach people about. So even when you like fact check me and you go and you do research on me, you won't know where you land. You'll find some crazy stuff because the YouTube algorithm keeps you in YouTube and you just go down this crazy rabbit hole. So I really want our people to understand to get out your own way, believe in yourself, because there's something outside of our day to day. Like you just said, we go to work, we come home and we watch Netflix, but there's so much outside of that it's crazy, and you gotta be thirsty for that knowledge.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I look at myself like, man, like I'm in a good position. Basically, I got medically retired from the military about 7 months. I got diagnosed with something called fibromyalgia, so I was unable to continue service. So basically, I know that I'm gonna get paid the rest of my life from that. So
Right.
that, and also I use my GI Bill for school. But my goal right now is to create multiple streams of income without having to work too hard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know there's some things that's like, you know, once you get something established, it's basically gonna be on autopilot because you set up the system perfected. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand the magnitude of having multiple streams of income. You got to plant these seeds, you know.
Right.
Eventually these seeds gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? So with me, I don't even know if I'm interested in starting a credit repair business, but I see the magnitude of it because it's not all about the money. It's about helping people, and I'm learning from you. So maybe an idea click in my head, like maybe I should do that for my community.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
And it doesn't
cool.
take much to learn credit repair, give it to your community, and you could be a resource to them. And it's a great side hustle that I turned into something like a big hustle. So definitely think about that.
Yeah, because so it's a couple people that I went live with. We talked about credit because I actually been learning about credit for maybe 4 or 5 months. You know, Runway Billionaire,
Yeah.
he be having a lot of information and stuff like that. I bought like all his courses or whatever because he got it at such a discounted price. It's almost like a slap in the face not to buy from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I take that same information. I hop on IG, Facebook, and I educate people on it, this and that. But I'm not trying to monetize it right now. You know what I'm saying? But let me at least get the information that I learned and share it with my people. So I could say, like, if I wanted to, I believe that I could start a credit repair company, you know, by following the same system that people like you know, got out there and stuff like that. Or my boy Michael Haywood, he got his own credit repair program that he teaches as well. And I think that we should be able to monetize stuff like that because we shouldn't do it for free. You know what I'm saying? Because people will go out and spend money with, you know, maybe a white person, no questions asked, you know, but when it comes to your people, we should be supporting each other. And that keeps the dollar circulating amongst us and in our community as a whole, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So what factors affects the credit score?
So there's several factors that affect someone's credit score. I like to talk about the major ones. Number one, and I want to talk about the ones that people even don't know about also. So number one, of course, your payment history, 35%. That's the biggest one. And I think everyone knows that if you late, it's going to hurt you like bad. But I want everybody to remember credit is like an organism. It's alive. So like when you cut yourself, you start to bleed, right? So it hurts a lot, it's bleeding a lot. That's the worst it's going to be. Over time, it's going to heal itself. So your score is going to slowly go higher and higher. Believe it or not, I have a late payment on my credit score, but that was like 12 years ago. But because it was so long ago, it doesn't impact my credit score. Your credit score is severely impacted by negative items that hit your credit within the last 24 months. After 24 months, it starts to really drop off in regards to how much it hurts you. The second important thing that hurts your credit is your credit usage, your credit card usage. How much of your credit are you using? So say, for instance, you have $1,000 credit card. If you're using more than $300 at one time, when it reports to the credit bureau, that drops your credit score. Because what in the bank's mind, because you have to think like a bank in order to get money from the bank. So they're like, well, if you're maxing out your card 50%, 60%, you're using $600 on that credit card, that means you're not good with money. So they drop your credit score, right? So they want you to be responsible. That's the second thing. Number three, how old your credit is super important. So I got a lot of people come to me, oh, I want this $15,000 credit card. I'm like, bro, you just got the credit card game. You just learned how credit works. You have to start to build your credit. You're gonna, your first credit card gonna be $500. It's gonna be $1,000, right? And they're like, what? I was like, don't get fooled by what you see on Instagram or whatever. You have to start building it up over time. It took me time to be able to get 20, 30, $40,000 credit cards. I've been doing this a while now. So that's the other thing. Inquiries, how often you run your credit is super important on your credit profile. So you want to make sure you don't run your credit too much. Inquiries stay on your credit report for about 2 years, right? So if the banks, you're running your credit too much, they're gonna be like, this guy's looking for money from everywhere. That means he has a problem. And something off the books that a lot of people don't understand, what makes your credit good is your credit profile. What do you mean by that, Herman? So it's a mix of things on your credit. So like on my credit, I got credit cards, I got student loans, I got mortgage. I had a car note. I don't have a car note now. Car note. Those things, those different mixes of different types of credit makes you look responsible, makes you look like an adult. Like, oh, this is an adult. He's had different types of credit on his credit report. Some people, they probably had like one credit card or they just had a car note. Their score is actually high. They probably have a 700 credit, right? Because they never been late on anything, right? But he's like, yo, I still got denied for this credit card. I look on their credit report. I'm like, oh, you've never had a credit card before. You just had a car note. Yeah, but my credit score is 700. I was like, yeah, but the banks don't just look at credit scores. They look at the different things on your credit report. So you have to build up your credit profile also. So those are the 5 things that affect what your credit score is and what money you get. Having a good mix of things on your credit determine what type of things you're eligible to get. You can have a 700 credit score. You can't walk in a Bentley dealership and get a Bentley. They're gonna be like, listen, the highest car note you ever had was a $25,000 Toyota Camry and you paid it off. This Bentley is $250,000. I don't care if your credit score is 750. We're not giving you this card because you haven't demonstrated on your credit that you're able to manage a $50,000 car note. So that's why building up a credit profile is super important.
Okay. So say if I'm just starting out, I don't know much about credit. How can I improve my credit? Like to build it up through time? Like, should I add some authorized users? Like, what should I do?
So authorized users definitely is a play. I'm linking my bio on Instagram, definitely have it, right? But this is the part where I tell people I try not to be a scammer. When you go get a trade line, what are you going to do? I ask people, what's your plan? Because trade lines aren't for everybody. So yeah, you can run out and get a trade line. That's cool. You're not getting business credit with it. So don't do that because the banks don't look at the trade lines on your credit report. They look at the lines that belong to you, that you built credit on your own. So you can get a trade line to help you get into some credit unions or get some secured credit cards. That'll help you start to build yourself out. Get like My Jewelers Club. That'll put $5,000 on your credit card immediately. Another hack is Rent Reporters or Rental Karma. Those are 2 companies where you get your mans to do this. Be like, yo, bro, and he owns a home. Be like, yo, bro, I'm about to sign up for Rent Reporters. They report to TransUnion and Equifax. I'm gonna say that I'm renting a room from your house. They're gonna call you to verify. You're gonna say yes. You're gonna say I'm paying $500 a month, and you're gonna say I've never been late for 2 years. Boom, just like that. They're gonna post 2 years of credit history on your credit report. $500 never been late. Because how long you had credit, remember, is important too. So Rent Reporters and Credit Karma, that'll help with payment history, length of credit. Slap one trade line on there, and then go to credit unions to start to build your credit. Why, Herman? Because credit unions, their underwriting guidelines are a lot less strict than your Bank of America, your Amex, right? So like Navy Federal, great credit union. People with like a 620 credit score, 650, they're giving them a $575, $10,000 credit card to start, right?
Wow.
Right. So, and that reports to all 3 credit bureaus. So in 2, 3, 6 months, when you go someplace else, they're going to look at your credit report. What are they going to look at? They're going to be like, oh, he hasn't been late for 6 months. And it's like, oh, wow, somebody gave him a $10,000 credit card already. So we can't give him a $5,000 credit card. We gotta match it. So boom, there's your second credit card, $10,000, $12,000, and you keep growing your profile. So it's all about building a good foundation, and then you'll be able to stack up.
Man, definitely. You said something powerful too with the credit union. So that's something I've been learning by watching you guys is going through the credit unions, because a lot of people they might go to some of these banks, but the benefits aren't as greater than
Great.
the credit bureau. I mean, not credit bureaus, but the credit unions. I'm
Right.
sorry, and people don't understand that. And I was able to go to Service Credit Union. That was a bank I had when I was out in Germany back in 2017, and I basically called them and said, "Hey, I want to use a personal line of credit." And my score at the time was, I believe, like a 770 or 780. So they basically didn't verify my income. And I told them how much I wanted. And what I wanted was $12,000.
Yeah.
But what I messed up on, just to throw my errors out there, because everything's trial and error, is I got approved for 20. I took the 12, but I feel like once I transferred the money from the account that it was in to my check-ins, I basically maxed it out, not knowing.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking in my head right now from learning, would it make sense to call Service Credit Union and try to get that personal line of credit line increased to the 20 that they originally was going to give me? What do you think about that?
Why not? If they're already going to give it to you, that means you were pre-approved for it at some point in their mind. So if you get the $12,000 down or whatever, you don't want to be over leveraged with the bank in total. Yeah, go back and get that 20. Absolutely. So I tell people never be afraid to get a credit limit increase. So I know a lot of people, they're afraid of credit or uneducated about credit. Like they have a 10-year-old credit card that's $1,000 limit. I was like, why is it $1,000 limit? Oh man, I don't mess with that credit stuff. I'm like, bro, you just shot yourself in the foot. A $10,000 credit card, 10-year-old credit card should be $10,000 limit because it's so
Right.
old. So give them a call and increase the credit limit, because the older your credit, the higher your credit limit, the better your what looks, your better your profile looks. So two people have a 700 credit score. One person has a $300 secure card and $1,000 credit limit, right? Somebody else with the same 700, they got a car note, they got student loans, they got a $15,000 credit card and $20,000 credit card. Y'all got the same score, but guess who's gonna get the most benefits? Who's gonna get the most money? Gonna get the most loans? The person's profile. So don't be afraid to increase. I always tell people every 4 to 6 months, call them and ask for a credit limit increase.
Yeah, definitely. So even in my situation, by using a personal line of credit, like, would that bring my utilization down if I was to call and ask them to increase it to 20, but just keep the 12 in my checking account?
Yes, you can. Yeah, increasing your credit limit decreases your credit usage with that, which then increases your credit score.
Okay, definitely, man. And I appreciate that, because that's something that I was always questioning in my head. But moving forward, I see you got a do-it-yourself credit removal inquiry program that you offer in your bio on Instagram. Can you speak about that and how easy it is?
Yeah, so my name on Instagram is Haitian_CEO. And on the link in my bio, I tell people, I'm like, listen, we'll do the work for you to cost $1,000, right? Or you can go to YouTube University, it'll be for free. Or we can help you in combination with YouTube. We got the tools in the link in my bio. We got 101 letters, because there's no silver bullet to fixing credit. I would like to tell people that don't look at Instagram and think it's that sweet. It's a lot of work. There's different rounds of letters that you got to send out, because one letter might not work, but the second letter might work. The third letter might work. So what I do is in the link in my bio, we have all these letters, how to get off bankruptcies, repossessions, inquiries, late payments on closed accounts. If they tell you, hey, it's been verified, we got a letter for that. You know what I'm saying? We have different letters to help you navigate through the whole, and it's 101 letters. We throw the whole thing at you. Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of information. Like, so by looking at Runway, for example, just to bring him up, I got his do-it-yourself credit repair ebook, and I was able to call Experian and get some inquiries off my credit report, and it blew my mind, because it was like, hold on, I just got like 3 of them removed in less than 10 hours.
10 hours. And all you did was buy his ebook, right? Real quick, boom. You know, I'm crazy.
It was
right?
real quick. So I tell my girlfriend about it. From there, I tell my brother. I tell his fiance. And I just start telling people like, yo, this stuff is legit. You got some people, they could be using your name or something like that. And they got stuff on your credit report that you don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? So you can call and get that stuff removed. And I was just looking at my credit report the other day. I had something on there, and I was like, yo, I never applied for this. And they had my name on my credit report as Deontay S. Flowers instead of Deontay D. Flowers. And I'm like, this not me. And that was attached to that.
To that bill, right. So now you can fight it to get it off. Exactly.
Yeah.
All those
I've been
little,
learning from y'all, man. Y'all was talking about, I think you said it like maybe a month ago. You was talking about verify your personal information. So that's your name, your address, your date of birth,
yeah,
um, and old addresses and job history or something like
right,
that. Like
right,
take
right.
all that stuff off and make sure that it's the most accurate and up to date.
Information, absolutely.
Yeah, so before disputing things in my credit report, why should I freeze and opt out of the second party credit bureaus?
So the primary credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, they get their information 7, 8 times out of 10 from the secondary bureaus, which is like CoreLogix, LexisNexis, ARS, right? That's where they get their information from. So when you write a letter to like Experian, like, hey, I don't know where this inquiry came from, um, Experian is gonna hit up LexisNexis. Yo, is this real? LexisNexis gonna be like, yeah, it's real. Then they're gonna come back to you and verify. Be like, yeah, this is verified, because they don't have the information in house. So what you do is, with this information that you know, all right, cool. You're gonna freeze LexisNexis, CoreLogic, SageStream is another one. You're gonna go to them. You're gonna freeze them because you can freeze it because that's your private information. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is a law that protects you. In the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it says your information is private. You cannot give that information out without my permission. So you can freeze it also if you want to. So you can freeze it, those credit bureaus, the secondary, right? Write the letter again. Hey, this inquiry is in mine. Oh, it's been verified. How'd you verify it? Because I have a letter here that says there was no way you could have verified it. Because I froze LexisNexis. I froze StateStream. How'd you get the information? Because by law, they have to tell you. How'd you get the information? Who did you speak to? Can I get a transcript of the conversation? Because if they're lying, guess what you can do? You can sue them.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't even know that
Yeah, you
information.
can sue them. Yeah, because you can't just say it's, that means you lying,
Yeah,
right?
because you don't have nothing to verify.
You have nothing to verify. You have no proof. So that's why I tell people it takes 2, 3, 4 letters sometimes, because you know you did, and then you'll mail them a copy of the frozen letter. Be like, hey, I know you verify your inquiries through LexisNexis, and they said they don't give up that information. So how'd you get it? Or like bankruptcies, right? We write letters to the bankruptcy court. Like, hey, do you verify information to third parties? The bankruptcy court, 9 times out of 10, will reply back and tell you, no, we don't verify anything. You keep that letter. And then you write the letter, you send that letter to the credit bureaus when you're doing bankruptcy letters. Be like, hey, I've never this bankruptcy, I don't know what's going on, why it's on my credit report. Oh, yeah, it's been verified. Well, how'd you verify it? Because the bankruptcy court, here's a letter, says they don't verify anything. So where'd you get it from? Because you're reporting the bankruptcy from that court. I just got off the phone with that court. So that's why freezing and doing your back end work is super important when you're trying to fix your credit.
Okay, definitely, man. That's good information because I actually know people that's going through say bankruptcies, but they don't even know that information. You know what I'm saying? Because that bankruptcy is going to really bring they basically whatever they report on there as far as their bankruptcy. I know that when it comes to the bankruptcy, if they don't, my bad, I lost my train of thought where I was going with it.
Yeah, if they don't verify, if they can't verify it, then by law they have to remove it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I know people that they have stuff on they bankruptcy and they put like say old bills on there and stuff like that. They
Yeah.
might not even know what all should be on there and what shouldn't be on there.
Shouldn't be
That's
on
where I
there.
was going with it.
Right, right. That's true.
So when it comes to like the letters, I was looking up a letter when it comes to disputing, and I came across a 609 dispute letter. Can you explain what that is?
So the 609 dispute letters are like template letters that are created to help you fight basic information on your credit report, charge-offs, collections, late payments on closed account, things like that. Now they're a great place to start. They are not the end all and be all. They're a great place to start to help repair your credit, especially when it comes to low hanging fruit like inquiries and collections. Those letters are really great at helping you do that because like a collection letter, be like, hey, you write to the credit bureau, like, hey, this collection agency, I don't know who they are. I don't know why they're on my credit report. Why does that letter exist? Because in this debt in this country, right? If you cannot say that I owe you money if we don't have a contract. So like T-Mobile, you had a contract with T-Mobile. It's $1,000. You didn't pay them for that iPhone. They sold your debt for $100 to a collection agency because they just wrote you off on their insurance. The collection agency comes after you for that $1,000 because they bought that piece of paper for $100. So anything is a profit. They sold, if they got you for $200, then they double their money. They win, but they try to come for that whole $1,000. But now that they own that piece of paper, when I write the letter to the credit bureau as a 609 letter, like, I don't know what this is. This has to be verified. Guess what? The collection agency does not have a contract. They don't have a phone conversation with you. They have nothing to prove that you owe them $1,000. So you can't report that on my credit report if you don't have proof that I owe you the money. So those are tips on how these 609 templates that are able to help you in some cases.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's a lot of game, man.
Yeah.
So the next question would be, well, not really a question, but I know you gave us a lot of information, but is there any more credit hacks that you think that people should know about that's simple? You don't have to go into your sauce like that, but you go into
something. Give people just a little bit of something. So let's give them the Experian 24-hour play. So for Experian 24-hour play, this only works for Experian to help yourself get the inquiries off. Only fight inquiries that are not connected to open accounts that report to your credit bureau. Why'd you say that long sentence, Herman? Because I'm gonna say it again. Only fight inquiries that are not connected to open accounts and they also report to your credit bureau. For example, T-Mobile, you got a T-Mobile inquiry, DirecTV inquiry on your credit report, right? Because you got their service. So I can't fight that inquiry. Yeah, you can fight that inquiry, but you said I couldn't do that. I said open accounts that report to your credit bureau. Utility bills don't report to your credit bureaus. So you can fight that inquiry. So like T-Mobile, AT&T, Sprint, when you got to run your credit, when you open up your gas bill, utility bill, that doesn't report to your credit report, just the inquiry. So you can fight those inquiries. So you're going to call up Experian.com. You're going to ask to speak to the fraud department, right? When you get on the phone with the fraud department, you're going to be like, hey, I got these 6 inquiries. I did not give them permission to run my credit. I have no written contract with these companies for them to run my credit, and this is detrimental to my credit. Use those words. In addition, tell them, because this is what makes you priority when you use the word what? Mortgage. I'm trying to get this mortgage, and these inquiries are in the way. Okay, sir, which ones? These 6 right here. Okay, sir, we'll take care of them right now. Before 24 hours, you said you got yours off in 10 hours. Before 24 hours, those inquiries have been removed from your credit report.
Okay.
So that's a good free gem for y'all right there. The less inquiries you have on your credit report, the better your credit report looks. And each inquiry takes 1 to 3 points off your credit report. So you want to clean them up as much as possible. But anything that's connected to an open account, like a credit card, something like that, leave that inquiry alone.
I got you. So I just started the LLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the best way to build business credit?
So the best way to build business credit, just like in your personal credit, you got to get like authorized users and trade lines and stuff like that to start, right? To build it up. It takes a little longer to build up your business credit. So the one way that I teach people to do that is to get like what in the business credit world is like the authorized users or trade lines, right? So you got Uline, 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 Quill, Quill, and Granger, Rainger. These are 3 companies that work with small businesses to start helping them get business credit. They're going to approve you, right? These are stationery stores, hardware stores. They're nothing sexy, right? You want to make sure you purchase something at least $60 to $70 from their websites. When I'm teaching my mentees, I tell them like, buy some batteries, buy some paper towels, buy some printing paper or whatever. And then that'll report to your business credit report. Your business credit report and score you can get from a website called NAV.com. They give you something called your Paydex score. Paydex score is like your FICO score in the personal world. So now that you have your Paydex score, those are the foundational accounts that will help you get business credit. Once you have 5 items reporting to your business credit, you generate a business credit score. At minimum, it should be 80. 80 to 90 is good business credit. 90 to 100 is great business credit. So in business credit world, your credit score goes from 0 to 100. So those are 3 starter accounts that you can use, Uline, Quill, and Granger, to start building up your business credit profile.
Okay, definitely. Man, I think I was watching Dear CEO, one of your mentees, and he was talking about paying early. You know how like on your personal credit, when you pay early, it's not big benefits, but I heard on the business side, if you pay early, it's more of a boost.
Yes, it is more of a boost. The earlier you pay back these accounts, like the ones I just told you, they're called net 30 accounts. You have to pay them back within 30 days. The faster you pay them back, the better it is for your business credit, because that means what? Business is good. So you made the money back, so you're paying it back.
So what's the difference between a net 30 and a net 55? I think it's a net 55, right?
Yeah, it's net 55. That's all about the days. So net 30, that means you got 30 days to pay it off. Net 55, I know Amazon does that because I got an Amazon business line of credit. I have 55 days to pay off the whole thing. That's what that
means. That's good information. So does business credit affect my personal credit score?
Business credit does not affect your personal credit score. Yes and no. So if it's personally guaranteed, that means your business is young, you went and got a business credit card, you got a personally guaranteed, they're gonna look at your credit, be like, all right, you did good with your credit, we're gonna give you 15,000 in business credit. It's only your business name, it doesn't show up on your personal credit report. But if you ever mess up, you get a charge off, you never pay it, they're gonna move that card and put it on your personal credit. That's the only way it affects you. But 9 times out of people, they're not messing up their business credit, so it doesn't affect your personal. The other way is where it's 100% no, is the no PG way, no personal guarantee. They're only looking at the history of the business. They're looking at the Uline, Quill, the Granger, the stuff that you already put on there. They're looking at that, and they're going to give you business credit based on it, and that doesn't report to you whatsoever. So
you got that in your book, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah, doesn't affect you whatsoever. So the company go bankrupt doesn't affect you whatsoever. That's why Donald Trump went bankrupt 7 times. He's still a billionaire because it's not in his name.
Man. So, and that's some good game. That's stuff that people really don't know about, So that's why, by you being on this platform, you educate the people that's in my world, you know what I'm saying, that might not even know who you are. So now they can follow you and buy your courses from you or enter some of your programs, and become some of your mentees, and then they can mentor other people, so it's power in that. So what business credit card should I apply for, just starting off?
So I recommend, as always, start with, like I said in the beginning, credit unions first. They're your friends. So I tell my clients who got 680 credit score and above, you got a couple of credit cards that are above 2 years old, $2,500 limit. If you around that range, go to your credit unions, open up a business checking account. Take these credit unions on a date. Open up a checking account first. For a business checking account? Why are you there? Hey, can I get a business credit card? Don't just walk by, hey, let me get a business credit card. Do that first. And because when you open up the business checking account, they're going to try to sell you their products. They'll ask you for that, if you want a business credit card, before you ask them. And then boom, that's where you start. My clients who are doing that, they go to like 2 to 3 banks on a Saturday, and they're raising themselves $20,000-$30,000 on their own. Right? All because they're leveraging their good credit to make some money.
So I got Service Credit Union. That's my primary bank. So if I was to go to Service Credit Union and want to get business, well, I guess bank with them business-wise with my LLC, could I do that?
Yes. Yeah. So and make sure they have business credit. So, I mean, business checking accounts. Not all banks do business credit or business checking. So ask them, be like, hey, you got business credit, business checking? Yes, we do. I'll be there on Saturday. Put in Google the credit unions in your zip code. Hit up 2-3 banks on a Saturday. Open up a business checking account at all of them. Ask them for some business credit.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. So I heard that you can get multiple credit cards from the same creditor. Can you explain that? Like a Chase, for instance.
Yeah, like Chase, American Express. Like American Express actually hit me up because I have a business revolving credit card with them. I maxed it out, paid down because I was doing real estate. They hit me up. They was like, hey, you want a platinum? I was like, nah, because I know it's $550 a year. It's like, nah, it's worth it because all the benefits you get. The benefits far outweigh the $550. And I was like, all right, cool, sign me up. And then it's like, how many businesses you got? I was like, I got 3. They gave me a business credit card for each of them. Just like that. No inquiries because I had the relationship with them. So I got 3 platinum cards with them. Same thing with Chase. Yeah, you have a relationship with Chase. Yeah, I want this. I want your cash back credit card and I want your points credit card. So you can definitely do that. Get more than 1 credit card with 1 bank. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So entering the last question, can you give my viewers something that they should know, just to wrap it up?
Something that they should know. So I'm gonna give you my tagline: execute.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we've talked about over the past 45 minutes, right, is just little gems, right? But if you execute on them, if you just do it and don't just save this video, you'll watch it later. If you execute on this information, I promise you it'll be foundational steps to really help you make moves. So the little things that people drop into your life here and there, don't just save it. Pull the trigger. We just gave y'all a bunch of bullets. Pull the trigger. Call Experian. Watch them things come off. Go to my letters in my bio. Try to work on your credit your own, or just hire us to do it. You have all the information to do it. Go to YouTube University. We tell you all these things to go out and do. You'll see yourself like, wow, this stuff really works. And you'll see yourself be put in position. You just talked about turning off the TV. I know you paid that $6.99. You paying Netflix $9.99 or whatever. And then you still got cable. They got all this stuff in front of you to keep you distracted. Open this laptop, crack open this laptop, and just go down that rabbit hole of just getting information, because a lot of it is free. You got to educate and feed yourself, because you're feeding yourself Marvel. You're feeding yourself Disney. And what you feed yourself is what you put out. So getting on Mr. Flowers' platform and feeding yourself this information, going on YouTube and feeding yourself, you're going to get a different result. So execute on yourself.
Man, yeah, that's a lot of game. And this whole time, 45, well, actually 48 minutes, man, you was on here and I was picking your brain. Of course, some of the questions I asked you, I knew a little bit about, but you elaborated more, so it gave me more clarity. You know what I'm saying? So you cleared up the confusion that I might have had in my head that I didn't know. And that was just simply from having a podcast and having a conversation.
Right.
So I appreciate you for being a guest, man. And I hope in the near future we can connect. And hopefully I can, be one of your students and you can mentor me.
Absolutely. I look forward to it, man. Again, thank you so much for sharing your platform with me. I really appreciate it. If anybody want to reach out, they can reach out to Bellastone Enterprises, 609-832-3552. We can talk about your credit repair, business credit, and our mentorship program that we have available. So we look forward to hearing from people.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. Nah, I appreciate you, man. And everybody that's viewing it on Facebook, tap in. That podcast is going to be out on the Anchor app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and many more. And also out on YouTube, too, because I got a YouTube channel.
Excellent.
So if you got a YouTube channel, too, right?
Yeah, I do. Bellastone Enterprises. Yep. I'm on YouTube also.
All right. Definitely. Thanks, brother. And I appreciate you. Everybody else, tap in.
All right, bro. Thank you. Have a great night.
All right. You too.
Peace.